welcome everybody to the EWU semi-finals. I'm your host Judo Sloth, joined by the very talented Adam from Time to Qlash, and we've done it again. We have started the intro too late. We're straight into the action, Adam. This is the first semi-final, and it is Qlash to kick us off.
And interestingly, we are straight in with the Yeti attack. We know the previous update changed things a little bit. It's definitely opened up the meta, but Yetis and hybrids still a very big part of the game. And even with the ground expos, people are still electing for the ground attacks. And that's what Qlash have gone for here. Warden Walk at 2 o'clock, set up the funnel, and it's just baby dragons, just to tidy things up. Obviously get that narrow path to send the Yetis in.
Yes, and I do like the early funneling with them baby dragons, because a lot of the time with the Yetis, you can see a time fail. We have the brand new Super Wall Breaker coming in. The one thing I love about that is, irrespective, it is going to blow open the wall, and that's exactly what happened here. Once the Grand Warden takes down the multi, no doubt we will see the Yetis coming in.
Yeah, timing everything here. Obviously, he wants to get that multi, but then wants to move the Warden straight away. And I think he's got that just right there. Yeah, gets the multi-inferno and then moves the Warden over to the Yetis. That was picture perfect. Brilliant start here by Qlash.
It is a perfect start. We've got that direct pathing to the town hall. Notice the scatter shot within that area as well. But 2 ground expos get to work onto his troops already. And this is looking good so far. Grand Warden's ability goes off right when we're in the center of the base.
Yeah, I love that, Tom. Hitting every troop in the middle. The only thing is you can see those Yetis on the top side, and you can't help but wonder, are they going to do enough out there? He's elected for them rather than the Hogs. There are a couple of defenses out there. Was it a mistake? Did he intend to do that? I don't know. Are they going to do enough, Judo?
I'm not sure either, Adam, because I think you might be right. The Hog Riders would have done a good job. There's not a lot of splash there, but there might be enough because the King and Queen's ability stays alive. The scatter shot goes down, and with the Queen's ability and 1 minute left, it is looking good for Qlash here. I think we could be looking at a 3-star to start this one off.
I absolutely agree here. We've still got the King ability as well. How's he kept that King ability? King going all the way through. We've got our main Yetis are broken out up the 4 o'clock side, but on the other side, we've got our Yetis from the CC. They're all going to meet up in the middle with the Queen. And that Archer Tower, that cannon, they are no match for how many troops we've got left up. Super stuff by Qlash. Was it a mistake with the CC? I don't know, but I don't care either because we've got a triple to start us off.
It doesn't matter because we do start off with a triple 100%, and that's as good as it gets. Lombard War Team now have to fight back.
The Lombard War Team, and again, we're on the Yetis, Judo.
We are on the Yetis, and it is interesting, as you said earlier, that we are still seeing the ground, but definitely I feel within the meta now, following them little balance changes, we are seeing just a little bit more air, few more dragons, few more Lalo, and I certainly like to see the variety, but the Yeti Blimp starts this one off, does not commit the rage, which often now is a good option depending on what you're trying to do, and gets the 3 ice golems lured across to the side of the base where we can take them down without having to use a rage for the Queen.
No, and this is the beauty of the Yeti Blimp. It's not just the funnel, it's not just the damage it does to the buildings, it's pulling that CC into such a safe place that you can then just roll through it with your Queen without having to press a button. You don't have to use your ability, don't have to use the rage. It is so smooth, and obviously a good Yeti Blimp can get you off to such a strong start for the raid.
It can, and notice the King down to 6 o'clock as well, doing a brilliant job. I do like that the King came in nice and early alongside the Super Wall Breaker. We are seeing that used quite a lot. In comes the Rage to get the Town Hall down, 1 star secured, Grand Warden's ability used, and we've already got all of the jump spells in place. I really like the pathing towards them back to scattershots, but can we get there early enough?
Yeah, a couple of bowls didn't quite go in, but you've got to say again, it's another very sweet entry. Pretty much everything where he wanted it. Big force in the middle. The real problem here is those healers have not gone forwards with the Yetis. They're sat back there on the heroes, and that isn't where we want them.
Beautiful freeze over to help protect the Royal Champion, but I'm not sure it is going to be enough, Adam. The Queen has the ability, but unlike the first attack, all of the Yetis have gone down. We have the Tesla farm and the single target Inferno looking strong, protecting the rest of the base for Qlash. So they will take an early lead in this semi-final, but with 4 attacks remaining, we certainly can see some epic comebacks. It's all about percentage now on this attack. How high can they get?
Now, with the Eagle down and all the defenses on the 12, 1 and 2 o'clock side also down, we should be able to use the Minion, Wizard, and I think there's an Archer even in that mix as well, to easily clear sort of 85%. And then it's all about the Warden. How much can he snipe off to help us out? But I think we could be looking at 90 here.
Yes, and that is the 90% I feel is where the clans need to be. When we have seen any tiebreaker wars, it tends to be 90 plus. It's very rare that clans will win on less than a 90% total percentage. So it definitely doesn't leave them out of the matchup here. They've kept that percentage high, but they do need to get a 3-star because they are already behind.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing with that one is Lombard War Team will look at that one and think, man, if the healers would have gone forwards, who knows? Definitely could have been a triple. Sammy from Qlash now, and it's Yetis again. These guys have found some bases that this ground strategy is still working on. This time we're going with 9 Yetis, no bowlers. Why would you take Yetis rather than a couple of bowlers, Judo?
Well, we'll have to see. He obviously feels that moving into the base, there's not a lot of other buildings which can be taken down. The Yetis can bounce straight onto the defenses and try and maximize their potential in the center. Whenever the Yeti might have to travel a further distance, then they are going to struggle. And obviously the bowlers can help to just bounce through the buildings. We do have a big gap in the center of the base here, which means they might not get that bounce value through the center, which is where you really need it. Commonly though, you will start the Yeti Smash with the Grand Warden, and that's exactly what Sammy is doing here, Adam.
Yeah, setting it up quite nicely again, and this is what we're, it's what we're used to, particularly from the pro clans, from the best clans. The work that they put into the funnel is probably more than the rest of the raid. The funnel is everything, and you can see that he's done a really sweet job. Just one wizard with the king is enough to send the king the right way, and he's got that little trail of breadcrumbs there, those buildings just at 4 o'clock to lead those Yetis into the base.
Beautiful start. Getting that Town Hall early on means he can save the Grand Warden's ability. The Rage spell was purely used to speed the Warden up. He wasn't in any danger, but we only have 1 minute and 40 left. And in terms of efficiency, you always need to think about time, but here they come. The charge into the base starts and the Grand Warden's ability used early on.
Yeah, absolutely. As you can see, took some damage on the healers as well. Does need those healers to push forward onto the Yetis. Yetis kind of in 2 groups. One of them's getting healed, one of them's not. They're taking some big damage out front.
Well, the scatter shot did indeed do a bit of damage in the center there. The Stone Slammer moves in towards that right-hand side. A nice little touch to have the Hog Riders alongside the Royal Champion, but I can't help but think a heal spell over there might have been helpful because they have gone down and he's lost all the momentum moving through the base here. So again, I feel it is all about percentage and damage control right now, Adam.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he knew that with that entry, once those scatter shots started landing hits on the troops that were not being healed, I think he knew that he was losing the momentum. Also, that multi-inferno, he was hoping that the champ would get there first. So the obviously champion, very good odds against the multi-inferno. But because the Hogs got there first, they took a lot of damage. Giant bomb went off as well. So nice idea with the Hogs, didn't quite work. Yetis were already going down. And like Judo says, all these top players, as soon as they know they can't triple, mentality, just instant switch. How many percent can I get? What can I do for my team? How do I get the best result possible?
Well, I feel like Sammy might have pushed everything into the center. Whenever you are using the Yetis, you've got to appreciate that the Yeti mites will jump out to the defenses, and that can often leave buildings vulnerable. There are definitely other buildings here that could have been sniped off, but in the end, time runs out and it's 82%.
Yeah, in they go. This time we are going for the hybrid, sticking with the ground. But this is sort of the two main ground strategies are your Yetis and your hybrid. This is the second of those, and it is the hybrid. Obviously, we're going to queen walk down one area to get us started. And the real goal with the hybrid attack, and you'll watch this as it develops, is to create a narrow entry for your hybrid to get the most value from the spells and from the tome. But it's a blimp to kick us off, Judo.
It is a blimp, and I do notice the two sweepers as well pointing to the town hall. I feel like Qlash might have been trying to bait the battle blimp, but down into the town hall area. The Lombard War Team does not fall for that, lures the CC, pulls them across to the side. We will see that queen walk down to the bottom, and I'm surmising hybrid in towards the scatter shot.
Indeed, and a couple of little details there that we love to see. First of all, you notice he's got the poison just a little bit away from the queen. Now, also, that doesn't quite clip the skeletons. He did take a bit of damage off them. However, it gets the witch quicker, and the witch is the more scary part of the CC. So the good little details there. The other thing is he put the wizard in as he put the queen down as well. So that wizard cleared 4 buildings up there, which is a massive chunk of time saved. Not to mention, make sure the queen goes the right way. Little details. That's what we're all about at the top level.
Definitely, and the baby dragon there as well, worth mentioning, down to the bottom area. That will ensure that the queen goes into the top part of the wall towards where the town hall is, and she actually hugs the wall on the inside here because there are defenses she can reach. It is a good start. Now we see the king over to the top area. Only 1 minute 30 left, so time definitely starting to become a factor, and that's why the hybrid now comes in towards the scatter shot, exactly like we thought, Adam.
Yeah, absolutely. And that narrow funnel, that's what we're talking about here. Look at that tome. Hits every single miner, every single hog.
Single is on the queen. Single is on the queen. She goes down at 6 o'clock. That could be very costly, Adam. That could be huge moving to the end of this. The hybrid is in, but the queen going down could be very disastrous.
And you do quite often see those freezers on this one. He had the freezers, but it wasn't enough to negotiate the single target. I'm not sure what went wrong there because it doesn't look like anything didn't go how it was meant to. But obviously with the hybrid now taking so much damage in the middle, the queen not assisting him on the backside, we're back on damage control, and there's no way he's going to be able to get too high on percentage here. So not only will we be looking at a star lead for Qlash, we're also looking at a percentage lead for them as well. What was the plan there? What changed? Why? How were we meant to get past that inferno, I wonder?
I'm not too sure. Maybe the freeze was meant for there. The queen's clearly going to be in range of it, so he couldn't have thought that the queen wouldn't have been using the baby dragon onto the archer tower to try and get that percentage up. But like you said, it is just very, very low, and this now means that Lombard War Team are quite far behind. We do have Qlash coming in, and interestingly, we've been talking about the ground meta, how air is a little bit better off now, but we are seeing another ground attack, and we've defaulted back to the Yetis. Qlash in the lead. They're cruising at this point, but if they get a 3-star here, Adam, it's really looking good for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Percentage lead, star lead. Pretty confident with their attacks as well. Everything's been pretty good from them, even what hasn't gone in for them. It really, earlier today, they were superb. They're still looking good now. You've got to say momentum all in favour of them. And this is where Lombard War Team's leaders come into it as to whether they can, rally the troops and get them back on track. But yeah, you're right. Qlash could just put a dagger in this one. Another triple here. And we would really be looking at a mountain for Lombard.
Look at that earthquake, Adam, right onto 2 scatter shots. Uses that early on so as not to forget about it later on in the raid and get too complexed with everything that's going on. Gets a huge amount of damage onto them. So once we've got through the town hall, we should be able to cruise through that middle area. And I feel this is looking good, but time could be a factor. We're already 1 minute in.
And the beauty here is with that quadquake, softening up those buildings, we suspect there's probably going to be ice golems in there. We're going to slow down our main push. However, the Yeti mites can still bounce forward and take those scatter shots relatively easy now they've been softened up.
Well, it's not the ice golems in the clan castle. There is a lava hound in there, which will slow him down a little bit, but not quite to the same degree as the 3 ice golems. So definitely looking good here. Scatter shots get to work. We don't have any freeze spells, but the next rage should push them into that area, and we will see these go down in a flash. One goes down. Yeti might step forward, and the next one is going to hit the deck. There we go, and it looks pretty good here. Maz could be on his way for a triple.
You've got to say the P.E.K.K.A and the Wizards on the outside doing a sweet job. Now come in the Hogs. Now comes in the Royal Champion. They're clearing through the defences up there at 10 o'clock. Our Yetis and King have made it through into the 12 o'clock compartment. Do we have just enough? Look at that Queen sniping the buildings off as well. Has he got just enough? He's spinning out too fast.
Super impressive. It's super impressive, but I do feel the Tesla farm at 9 o'clock might be the savior for Lombard War Team here. Trips up Maz at the last second. Queen does a quick 360 as she's moving around. I love the fact that each and every time a defense moves across to the Queen of the Yetis, another cleanup troop comes in just to try and focus their fire onto the defenses. They've got enough time, but I don't think they have enough power now to get through.
No, and you know that Queen is just one hit away. There's even a mortar there, and that mortar is going to do real damage when your hit points are low. Bomb Tower's trying to get the Queen as well. Finally, the Bomb Tower gets her. We thought he was looking really good. But yeah, Susie made you promise not to jinx it, Judo. That's on you.
I didn't jinx anything. Nothing was jinxed there, my friend. That was a brilliant attack. Either way, keeps them ahead on percentage, and it still looks good for Qlash at this point.
No time to think about this. We are straight back in with the live attacks, and that's how it goes in esports. It is just bang, bang, bang. You get a tiny 1 minute break between the attacks at best. You have a quick look at percentages, and then you're back in, and this time it's the Queen Charge Hogs. But again, a blink to set us up, Judo.
A really interesting approach here. An interesting base design as well. We do pick off a scatter shot to start off. Notice the grounded expos as well. If we're queen charging into that area, it's going to be difficult. She will take a lot of damage. So let's find out what Monk has up his sleeve. Takes out the CC early on here. We've got the poison in, but there is going to be a huge amount of damage onto the queen if we're walking down towards 3 o'clock.
Yeah, and it certainly looks like we're going that way. My guess is we are going to try and get the Queen onto the inside alley, which is, like you said, it's a great place to be. There's so much value. Well, my word, there's some damage down there. That King's going to have to really do some work to help set up for the Queen. Otherwise, we might have to pop everything with the Queen.
Look at how quickly the ice golem popped. I mean, that was meant to distract. It went down in half a second. The Barbarian King does do a good job taking down the enemy heroes. We've got some sneaky goblins to help funneling on that side, but there's still going to be a lot of damage. However, Monk doing an incredible job to get through this area. We're going to eradicate most of the base before the Hog Riders even come in.
Yeah, and that's exactly what's happened here. You can see that Maz has put everything of that base is on that town hall. He's put it all there. He said, come at me. And Monk is like, okay, I'm going to call your bluff. I'm going in there. And he's had to use everything to get through it. But now he is getting to the far side of it. The healers are still going, albeit one of them switched to the King. Our Queen is down. Ooh. But have we done enough?
Yeah, Queen going down could be vital moving through here. Beautiful freeze in order to help the Royal Champion, but Hog Riders going everywhere. Has to use the Grand Warden's ability early on. They're stuck in the tornado trap. This is the difficulty with Hogs versus Miners. They're stuck, and the scatter shot did not go down. So whilst we had the most optimal start we could think of, it's looking ever less likely that this will convert to a 3.
And it's just such a small thing. The defensive Royal Champion was on the wrong side of the wall, so the King set off round. He pulled a healer to himself. If that champion had been on the other side of the wall, the King would have killed her, the King would have carried on down, the Queen would have survived, the champion would have got the scatter shot, and the Hogs would have tripled. And it just shows how the tiniest things make such a big difference.
We might still get it though, Adam.
Can we still do it though? Do you think we can?
We've got Hog Riders coming to the scatter shot with the healers. They are in its radius where it cannot fight back, so they will get that. But with the Skellies, they're slowly going down. It's gonna be a time fail. Oh my word.
That is unbelievable. That King, who we thought had messed up the raid, he actually pulls a blinder and tanks for the Hogs, allowing them to get the last couple of defenses. But we've got 3 seconds.
Don't tell me it's a 99.
It's that gold mine. Oh, wow. So close.
1 or 2 more seconds, and that was it. Think about the Queen charge. If there was any more efficiency to be had there, it would have been a 3. That is what Lombard War Team needed, but unfortunately, it's not meant to be.
Now we need a defense for Lombard. They've shown a really good hit there, but now they need more. They've got to get a defense here so they can answer back on offense.
They really do, and they are going to be starting with the battle blimp again. Scattershot goes down really quick. It's a good start for Joker here, as the Royal Champion is down as well. Could have really done with getting that Expo. One more Yeti Might would have taken it down, but cannot grumble at the start we've got so far, and the Queen Walk coming in straight towards the Town Hall.
Yeah, absolutely. That Yeti definitely getting good value, and that's one of the things you notice with the pro players. It's when to use the rage and when not to. I think when you go down a little bit, you see everybody just uses a rage just to be on the safe side, but the pro players know when's the right time to use the rage and when isn't. I think you got it right there. Got very good value.
Yeah, we would have got the Expo, but like you said, the Rage can then be saved for either the Queen Charge or the Hybrid. And let's face it, if your Queen goes down from the Charge, you're much more likely to get the 3-star if she doesn't. So you don't want to use that Rage early on if you don't have to. Hybrid now coming in from 6 o'clock. Plenty of time left over. It is a good start, but the King finds a Tesla farm. How crucial will that be, Adam, in terms of pathing?
Very crucial. You can see already the Hogs are going to go that way. Now, he might be able to keep the Miners in the middle, but those Hogs are going to bounce around the outside. And the killer with the Tesla farm is, you know as well, there's going to be some traps in there.
There is. The Hog Riders split across there. The Royal Champion thought about going to support. Maybe she knew there were some traps over there, but she does charge forward towards the single. Another heal is used. Percentage is driving up over continually. It's going to be higher than I thought, and we could still be on here, Adam. Royal Champ's ability, there's not too much left in the base.
I can't believe I'm saying this. That one Hog did a sterling job just finishing the Tesla farm, and he's just got the bomb tower as well. What a guy. Awesome work by that Hog, but is there enough in the main force? Those Miners with the healers are keeping going. Air defense currently out of range, and it allows the champ to go over the top. It's not quite how we would have drawn it up, but I think we could be looking at a triple.
We could do. The Seeking Shield finished off the Stone Slam, not the Stone Slammer, the Scattershot. The Hogs were in its radius anyway, and the Miners, and it is going to be a 3-star. I do feel like that one Hog Rider, like you mentioned, was the main factor here, and that is going to mean it's almost a certain victory for Qlash at this point. Surely we're not going to see a comeback from Lombard War Team at this point, are we?
I am never, ever going to use the word certain because that always backfires on me. But you are right. That is a commanding lead. Now, 2 stars and percentage to the good.
Well, Ragnar has to answer back. They are 25% in real terms of a single base behind and 2 stars, and they've only got 2 attacks left. So in order to mean that they are still keeping things in their hands, they have got to 3-star here. Otherwise, they are counting on a fail by Qlash. We're starting off with the battle blimp again. This time we opt for the Rage, and he does get all of the defenses in the area. So I feel like in this occasion, the Rage was beneficial. And like you mentioned earlier, Adam, we've got that CC pull, which is incredibly valuable.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, we're just waiting with that poison. It's the witch that we want more than anything else. So we delay the poison, make sure we get the witch. It is a nice little start here by Ragnar. Got everything that he wanted, albeit not crazy value. It's not what you make a video about. But he realised that if he can get that corner, he's then got that drive straight into the town hall to get off to a very good start. It's another base where it looks like everything is stacked on that town hall.
Yeah, and it's good to get away with only the Warden in that area, sends that one Wizard for support, but now that we've got that funnel set up, it looks really good. The King has set up the funnel towards the north, we've got the Yetis coming in, jump spell in place, we've got the second one in the pocket as well. A good start here, and the Town Hall will go down early on.
I'm going to sneeze, I'll let you carry on.
Well, we do use the Grand Warden's ability right as the Scattershot takes fire, comes in onto all of them troops, and down it shall go. The jump spell already in place as well, so both Scattershots eradicated. We've still got that good force through the base, and the Yetis and Bowlers, they beeline straight towards the Eagle Artillery as if they knew that that building is very important, but we do get a bit of a split, and that could be what is costly. The healers still on the Yetis is the most thing that is vital in these attacks, and Ragnar has that in position.
Yeah, he's not looking too bad. I didn't sneeze in the end. I managed to recover, but thank you for diving in there. That champ has done a super job on the outside. Do you see the use of the ability? Hitting all the buildings that the shield can one-shot. It's little details like that make a massive difference. That was brilliant. Now it's these Yetis that are pushing through. All our hopes are on these Yetis. They need some Yeti mites to take that air defense and save a healer, and I don't think they're going to get it.
They don't, and the Royal Champion unfortunately went down. She raced ahead because she targets defenses. Sometimes that's a good thing. In this occasion, it was not. She went down early, and we really needed her to come down towards the Yetis. It didn't happen, and now we are looking at the position where Lombard War Team, if they want to move through in this EWU tournament to the grand final, they need a mistake from Qlash now on this next attack.
How frustrating is that when you've still got the Queen ability? You just sat there like, if my Queen was with the Yetis, we could have easily taken the rest of the buildings. We could have got the 3-star.
Not just playing it safe, Adam. We have a Lalo on our hands, going out with a bang, getting their confidence up because they are sure favourites to move into the final, which you guys will be seeing in the not too distant future. Starting off with a good funnel, using the King and Baby Dragon, sends that one test wall breaker in, and we're coming straight to the Town Hall here with the Archer Queen, I would presume.
Now, obviously, first of all, we're excited to see Lalo. More Lalos, the better. We really do enjoy seeing them in the mix again. And like you mentioned in the last update, it's definitely added to the variety. What I like about this strategy is it looks dangerous, but because he's going to try and sui the Queen for the Town Hall, it's actually quite a safe 2-star strategy. It doesn't look it, but it is, because if he gets the Town Hall so easily, then all he has to do is get 50% with the Lalo, and that's not a big ask.
The Royal Champion got the most northern scatter shot there, Adam. Look at the damage towards 12 o'clock. There is nothing left. Hog Riders, Giants, and the Royal Champion took out that entire area. We got an air defense with that as well. Now the Town Hall goes down. Talk about a safe 2-star. This looks incredible for the Lavaloon.
Oh man, this is a super start here. If he gets that air defense, it's over. I don't think he quite does, but he's still got to be extremely pleased with what he's got, and those loons should bounce over there. They are taking a bit of damage on that top side, but again, 2-star is the priority. It has to be. They want to win more than they want to triple, so even if it doesn't go through, he has connected with the double. 12 stars on the board. They are uncatchable.
Yeah, it's unfortunate though, because it looked so good. He's lost a lot of momentum moving through the middle. The balloons are going everywhere, but we have managed to get all of the splash damage down apart from the Eagle. So if that goes down, we might just nick it, but I think the air defense is going to be the savior for Lombard War Team, and they can keep the score as low as possible. If they are going to be taking the defeat, they don't want the score to be too wide of a margin.
No, absolutely. And like you said, I mean, it was a brilliant setup. The Queen getting the Town Hall is massive value. It means you can use your tome wherever you like. You also, that Royal Champion was something special. Absolutely superb there. Really could not have asked for any more from her. But the Lalo just didn't get a great start. And I do, that air defense that I was saying, man, does it really matter? Yes, is the answer to that question. It did really matter. And I think perhaps if he was to go in on this one again, he would have put some loons in specifically to target that air defense and keep more of his force in the middle. Instead, it kind of went a little bit to the outside. And obviously, as you go around that outside, you're taking all the damage from those centralized defense. It was a good effort. But I think, as well, you've got to say, Milan, he wanted the double. He wanted the win, and he got it.
Lombard War Team, they'll be wanting to go out with a bang. The winner is going to be Qlash for this one, but let's see if Lombard can finish off strong with a 3-star.
Yeah, absolutely. And guys, do not go anywhere, because straight after this, we're going to be diving over into activity and seeing how they get on with Grumpy Old Men. Another epic war. If you enjoyed this one, the next one's going to be at least as good. Who knows? It might even shine. Let's find out. But let's have a look at Tron first of all. Tough position to be in. He knows the result already. These guys know every percentage. They know exactly where the wars are at. Can he keep his cool here and finish off with a steady triple?
Well, he's keeping his cool so far, Adam, because this is a tricky Queen charge. 2 grounded expos and a scatter shot is an incredible amount of damage, but he's managed to get the rage spells in perfect time, held on to the Queen's ability, and this could be crucial because we do have a single target Inferno, which might just lock onto the Queen and cause some issues.
I've got to say, this is a bit of a risk and a reward thing here. It's a dangerous area to go into, but he's handling it quite well. His queen's onto the CC, and the beauty is here is he's got the poison for the CC and the enemy queen, so getting massive value from the poison.
Look at this, Adam. We have the air sweeper was tanked by the healers, and he tried to sneak the battle blimp in. What a brilliant move. Manages to get it onto the town hall in the end, and down it will go because the queen charge did get the enemy queen. That's why there's a dragon in there as a bit of a fail-safe plan, so he's clearly cruising and doing well at this point, better than expected. Can we finish off with the hybrid? Has the king set up the funnel enough?
Man, this queen is having all kinds of problems. There were 2 witches. He managed to get one of them down, but the other already had skellies out there, so he had 7 or 8 on her at any one time. Even though the queen can just about beat a witch's respawn, because the extras were there, it really slowed her down, and just when she thought she was through them, ground skellies pot. So that queen really had a hard time. He's now gone with the hybrid, but did that witch slow him down too much? Has that ended the raid?
Oh, it definitely slowed him down. It's meant that getting to this scatter shot has been incredibly difficult. Throws in the heal spell as a bit of a last lifeline because we wanted that for the bottom area. We've got 2 wizard towers, a lot of point defense. I feel coming down to the end of it, it's all about this 9 o'clock corner. How quickly can the miners get through this? Will the queen get through and help out as well? Only 30 seconds left. I am cheering with all of my might that Lombard War Team can get a 3-star. But will be Qlash that is almighty and will move forward in this tournament.
Yeah, and he's not going to be able to get through. I really think that CC did him. It was brilliant with the poison to catch the queen and the CC as well. That's what he wanted. But it just wasn't enough for him to finish it off. The queen finally has rejoined the raid, but she stood there looking around like, where's everybody gone? Well, yeah, because while you were on those witches, unfortunately, the hybrid had a lot of work to do, and it couldn't do it. Lombard War Team, brilliant clan, really love the work that they do, but this one was all about Qlash.
It certainly was. They have convincingly took this one. So 12-10 with that 90%. We mentioned 90% being the benchmark, and it does mean that they will move forward into the final of this qualifier. We will have Grumpy Old Men and Activity coming up. Then we will be able to see who it is that will move forward to the grand finals.